People helping animals caught on camera. Seeing a poor animal in danger is one of the few things that brings out the hero in all of us. Although our biological urges frequently push us to put our own safety first, there are occasions when saving an innocent creature, especially if it's our pet, causes us to put those biological drives on hold. Today, let's take a look at people helping animals caught on camera. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss out on such interesting content. Alright, without further ado, let's get started with our list. Taking the heat. In the year 2019, Joe Guzman, his fiancée, and their 3 daughters attended a barbecue at his parents' house in Pala, California, when he heard there was a fire in his neighborhood 2 months after his young family had moved into their new home nearby. He left the family gathering to go check on them at home. Unfortunately, a large fire that started in his neighbor's house and moved to his did not spare Guzman's family or their 2-year-old blue-nosed pit bull, Gabbana, who was trapped in the blaze. Despite being on the site, the firefighters were seeking for help from nearby fire stations because they had ran out of water. Guzman jumped into the flames to save his dog because he couldn't stand to wait any longer and risk endangering Gabbana's safety. Fortunately, it didn't take Guzman long to find her in the house. He saw Gabbana curled up under the toilet in the one room that wasn't on fire, the bathroom. Gabbana sustained only minor burns to her nose and paw, while Guzman managed to escape with second-degree burns to his face, arm, left ear, and right side of his torso. The Guzman family's possessions, home, and 2 automobiles were all completely destroyed by the terrible fire. Thus, it is an incredible miracle that either of them is still alive. "I thought he was gone," said the startled witness. "The heat of those flames made me unable to contemplate rushing through them." Despite the material losses, the Guzmans and Gabbana are all safe and sound. Thankfully, they were able to donate almost $77,000 on their GoFundMe page to help them replace what was lost. Although Guzman could have lost his life and jumping into a wall of flames is probably not a good idea, I think it's safe to say that everyone is relieved that Gabbana and her owner are unharmed. A team effort. The majority of our previous videos have shown lone heroes overcoming challenges to save lesser animals, but this one is different. Sagitsyan Agiyatulin, a farmer in Bashkortostan, Russia, shared a video to his social media channels in the winter of 2020 that highlighted the dangers of farming in the dead of winter. Agiyatulin's horses apparently frequently venture onto the ice during the winter because it typically measures 5 feet thick. But in this instance, neither the humans nor the horses had anticipated the ice's thinness. Even though they were able to keep their heads above water, 7 of Agiyatulin's horses had fallen through the ice of the frozen pond and required assistance to get out of the icy situation they were in. Agiyatulin acted promptly, bringing his tractor and lifting jib to the area, and with the assistance of several other guys, the horses were extracted one by one from the pond. Although the Bashkir horses, a small but hardy species, are accustomed to spending the long, bitter Russian winters outside, the combination of the cold water and their own fright at being submerged would have undoubtedly been fatal if the men had not moved quickly. The horses had already been in the water for a long period of time. Thankfully, all 7 of the horses made it out alive. Agiyatulin attributes the occurrence to the unpredictable weather. A number of regions in Russia, including Bashkortostan, have recently seen remarkably milder winters, which results in thinner ice buildup. This amazing rescue is an admirable example of cooperation and tenacity. Out of nowhere. Even if it's difficult and a little frightening for us to comprehend, danger might appear at any time and lurk around any turn. One day, Jasper, a 9-week-old dog, found himself in peril in his backyard, right beneath the bushes. Michelle Van Schouwen and her teenage daughter, Michaela, let their tiny puppy out in the backyard to smell and enjoy the sunshine in Queensland, Australia in November of 2020. A deadly carpet python sprang out from under a nearby bush as Jasper was going about his business. It bit the puppy's ear and wrapped itself around his small body in an instant. Jasper's yelps for help made Michelle and her daughter aware of the threat. Michelle sprinted outside into the backyard and grabbed a cardboard tube off of a roll of wrapping paper in an effort to scare the pet python away. Michelle writes, At first, I wasn't keen on approaching bare-handed, but I hoped I could use it to get the python to release him. She grabbed the snake with her bare hands in an attempt to shake it off of the dog, but soon realized it had no intention of leaving Jasper. When Michelle realized the python wasn't poisonous, she focused solely on getting the snake off of her dog because Jasper was in a much more dangerous scenario than she or her kid would be. When the two are no longer visible to the camera, shadows on the grass reveal the girls shaking the snake, which eventually lets go of Jasper and escapes its lethal hold. Little Jasper made it through with minor wounds, and neither rescuer suffered any harm. The attack on Jasper increased our understanding of the carpet python's capabilities, and now our kids know why we keep our screen doors closed rather than allowing them inside. It's fortunate that the Van Schouwens were nearby when the attack took place, since the results might have been considerably different and far more tragic. Sizing up the competition. Typically, when you find yourself prepared for a fistfight, your opponent will be another irate person. But when Australian Great Tompkins, 36, realized his dog was in danger, he found himself facing off against a totally different kind of adversary. In 2016, Tompkins discovered that his beloved hunting dog, Max, was being held in a headlock by a 6.5-foot-tall kangaroo while out hunting wild pigs with his buddies and dogs in Condobolin, New South Wales, Australia. Tompkins chooses to punch the kangaroo and delivers a right jab to its face as they assess each other. Tompkins retreats as the frightened kangaroo considers what has just happened. Both Max the dog and Tompkins' astonished opponent escape the altercation unscathed. Tompkins believes he has no issues with kangaroos, despite the fact that he received a lot of internet criticism in the years that followed because many animal activists believed his punching was unjustified. He is an animal enthusiast who works with elephants at the Taronga Western Plains Zoo in Dubbo, New South Wales, Australia. Tompkins recently posted a photo of himself lying down amid 3 kangaroos with the message, "They adore me, and I love them." The lesson here, we suppose, is that you shouldn't presumably threaten Max the dog because you might get a right hook from his owner. Which brave rescue put the biggest smile on your face? A miniature miracle. YouTube user Skitu noticed that a kitten had fallen out of a passing car while waiting at a stoplight. She dismounted her bike, scooped the kitten up, and delivered him to the safety of an onlooker. Although no previous owner for the kitten came forward, she ended up adopting him permanently. Sometimes life's little gifts come to us in the strangest moments if we're ready for them. Immediately throwing her phone to the side, she immersed herself in the frigid water to try and find her dog. Without knowing whether or not he was alive, she rushed him back inside her house where she discovered he was limp and his mouth was blue. Since no local vets were open, Tatum drove 30 minutes from her home to get Sid the help he needed. Ever saved an animal yourself or witnessed a daring rescue? We'd love to hear your story in the comments below. And if you found this video informative, do give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon. Thanks.